What's up guys, this is Sensei. Today's video, I'm going to be bringing you the top 5 brawlers in Solo Showdown. Alright, and this is going to be top 5 all across the board. And the reason why I say that is because we have two types of maps in the game. We have the tank map and we have the long range, more open map. And you have brawlers that are really dominant on the tank map that are complete trash in the open map, and vice versa. You have brawlers that are really good on the open maps that are really trash on the tank maps. And so, yeah, so you might be confused if you see the brawler on this list, but you're like, what? But, you know, this brawler is just super good. How come he's not on the list? Well, that's because that brawler probably is trash on other types of maps. Okay, this is all across the board. All right, anyways, with that out of the way, let's just head right into number 5. All right, coming in at the number 5 spot, we have Jacky the tank. And, yeah, Jacky, really good in Solo Showdown, especially with these new tank maps that are added. Jacky is one of the better tanks. She's not the best tank on the tank maps, and that is why I made the distinction in the beginning that says all across the board, because she's not the best tank in the tank maps, but she definitely is really good. And on Rockwall Brawl, she is the best tank on that one according to win rates. But also on the non-tank maps, because of her gadget and her ability to chase down squishy brawlers and kill them, that also makes her pretty decent on the more open maps as well. One of the better tanks on the open maps, and it's because she's decent on the open maps that it lands her this number 5 spot. Anyway, let's head into number 4. Alright, coming in at number 4, we have Bibi. And honestly, for similar reasons to Jacky, Bibi, as you know, has really fast movement speed. And that movement speed allows her to catch up to brawlers similar to Jacky, that normal tanks wouldn't be able to because they don't have the speed that Bibi has. And of course, with her second star power, that shield, it basically buffs her health around near 7,000, around that much. So basically makes Bibi a super fast tank. And yeah, that makes Bibi really good. She's pretty good on tank maps. And she's also pretty solid on the non-tank map just because of that speed. Anyway, let's head into number 3. Alright, coming in at number 3, we have B. And you may have noticed that even in this new meta with these different maps, B is still strong. And that is because, unlike other long-range brawlers, B is actually really good against tanks because of her 3K shot and also her ability to slow down brawlers. B just completely melts tanks, and so because of that, and also on open maps, of course, B has her range, so she's decent there. And also, you know, like I said before, she's really good against tanks. That is going to land B in the number 3 spot. Let's head into the second best brawler in Solo Showdown. Alright, coming in at number 2 as the second best brawler in Solo Showdown, we have Max, the speed demon herself. And the reason why Max is number 2 in Solo Showdown is because on these new tank maps, Max is really good because of her speed and because of her high DPS. She's a really good tank counter, so she's pretty solid on the tank maps. And also on the open maps, because of her speed, it allows her to close the distance between Max and long-range brawlers. And especially with her gadget, which gives her 1 second of invincibility as well as a dash, allows her to make her way into the range of short-range brawlers and quickly take them out with her high burst damage. And that is why Max is listed at number 2. Alright, now before we go on to the number 1 brawler in Solo Showdown, I would just like to give an honorable mention to Pam, who, according to my calculations, came in at number 6. And yeah, the reason why Pam has dropped so low is mainly because Pam just really isn't fitted for these close range maps. She's a very bad peek shooter, and because of that, she struggles a lot on these close range maps. Her win rate has definitely tanked a lot on these close range maps. However, the reason why she's still number 6 is because on the more long range maps, Pam still is a pretty solid option. And so on those maps, if you're going to play Pam, you're definitely going to play Pam on those. But on the close range maps, Pam just is not very good at all. And that is why she is not on this top 5. However, did want to give her that honorable mention. Anyway, let's head into the number 1 best brawler in Solo Showdown. Alright, and for the number 1 best brawler in Solo Showdown, we have Carl. And the reason why Carl is number 1 and Pam is number 6 is because Carl is way better fitted for these close range maps than Pam is. Carl, with his ability to shoot around walls and to also pierce through walls with his pickaxe, makes him a really good option on these close range maps with a lot of walls. Whereas Pam, obviously, very terrible peek shooter, very terrible at shooting around walls. Carl is really good at shooting around walls, and because of that, that makes Carl the dominant brawler in Solo Showdown. Of course, as I stated before, being a ranged brawler with a lot of HP, over 6,000 HP, is a really good factor in Solo Showdown, and that is why Carl sits strong and high as the new number 1 brawler in Solo Showdown. Now let's just go over brawlers that got cut off the list. We already talked about Pam, but there's another brawler that used to be number 1 that recently got kicked off, and so I want to talk about him real quick, and then we'll wrap up this video. Alright, and the brawler that I'm talking about that fell off is going to be 8-Bit, with the removal of his extra life star power. Really cost 8-Bit a lot. And the story with 8-Bit is actually interesting. If you're wondering if 8-Bit is completely out of the Showdown meta, well, the answer to that is no. And, you know, it's actually kind of fascinating what's happened with 8-Bit in the Showdown meta. So basically, on pretty much every map, 8-Bit has dropped to like the 7th worst win rate. However, on some of the long-range maps, 8-Bit has the number 1 win rate, which is very interesting. How a brawler could be so good on some maps and so bad on other maps. So yeah, on long-range maps, 8-Bit is still really good. On a lot of long-range maps, he actually holds number 1 win rate, but on the tank maps, he holds one of the worst win rates. So I found that really funny, but yeah, that's what's happened to 8-Bit. His loss of his extra life star power really hit him, and it's just because he's slow, makes him an easy target. However, on those long-range maps where you can keep your range, he is still really dominant. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Let me know what you think of this new top 5 list in the comments below. Also, stay tuned because I will be making a top 5 list for the tank maps in this Showdown meta. I'm also going to be making a top 5 list for the open maps in this Showdown meta, because I think that's also going to help a lot if you're planning to push a tank or if you're planning to push a ranged brawler, because obviously you're not going to push a tank on an open map, and you're obviously not going to push a ranged brawler on a tank map, you know. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and peace.